Your move, your move.
What's up guys, it's Roguetier here and welcome to a amazing video on the channel. For today we have a deck profile from the future. Yes, we are talking post info when Fiend Smith are legal. This is the Evil Eye Fiend Smith, or as I like to call it, the Fiend Eye. Fiend Eye, that's the name I've gone with it. That's how it's going to be for now. Fiend Eye deck profile, and it's going to be showing you just why Evil Eye are receiving a massive boost with the Fiend Smiths. So without any further ado, let's get straight into this video. But if you do enjoy this type of content, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you thought of this deck profile. So let's get into it. So starting off with the main card of the deck, it is obviously Triple Serzial, Watcher of the Evil Eye. This is not only your consistency card, but also a great form of interruption. On a quick effect, being able to target a special summon monster your opponent controls and destroying it if it is equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene. Obviously, the Evil Eye of Selene being able to provide this card targeting protection and battle protection too, which is pretty nice. For the extenders, these are important. We play double of the Basilius, Familiar of the Evil Eye. It's a level 3, keep that in mind, extender. And it can special summon itself as long as you control a Evil Eye monster. And then, during your main phase, you can send an Evil Eye spell or trap from your deck to the grave, which is very, very useful in a pinch if you bricked. And you can send the equip spell to the grave, and then the equip spell acts as a rotor. We have double of the Basilius, again, another level 3 Familiar of the Evil Eye. This is the more recent support from Photon Hypernova, which is very, very nice. And it is a really, really insane piece of support for this deck. Let me quickly tell you what this card does. So it is a level 3 as mentioned. If you control an Evil Eye monster and this card is in your hand or the graveyard, so it can act as discard fodder as well. Quick effect, special summon this card or banish it when it leaves the field. If you use it as Xyz material, obviously it won't be banished and it will just be back in the grave for you to use again next turn. And then during your opponent's turn, you can quick effect immediately after this card resolves, link summon one Evil Eye Link monster using monsters you control as material. When you do, you can use Evil Eye equip spells you control as Evil Eye monsters. So insane. Lets you link during your opponent's turn into the link 2 or 3 using the equip spell as material, which is brilliant. And there's also, hint hint, a way of getting the equip from the graveyard back onto your newly summoned monster to obviously have the pop or the negates, which is very, very cool. And for the last level 3 extender, we play one of the Ketopass, Familiar of the Evil Eye. Not so great in the hand. It can only special summon itself from the grave. So the Basilius does hand, this does grave, and the Basilius does both hand and grave, as it's a fusion of both. But essentially, it can special summon itself if you control an Evil Eye monster other than himself, and you can target an Evil Eye spell trap you control, and then once until the end phase, it cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects, which is pretty useful because you can target your Selene, and that means I've got to out the Selene twice to try and, you know, switch off your monster's quick effects, which is pretty nice. Obviously, you'll get banished when it leaves the field, but if you use it as Xyz material, it won't get banished, and you can just keep recycling them. For the Evil Eye spells, we have triple of the Evil Eye Domain. Again, field spell that states when this card is activated, you can add an Evil Eye monster from deck to hand. Do I need to say anything? It's an amazing consistency piece. It could have ended there and it would have been a 3-of in the deck, but it has a couple more effects, which is once per turn during damage calculation, if your Evil Eye monster is attacked while Evil Eye of Selene is in your spell and trap zone, you can make the battle damage you take from this battle also inflicted to your opponent. If this card in the field zone is destroyed by card effect, you can target an Evil Eye monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand, which synergizes very, very well with your Serzial, because yes, the Serzial has a quick effect pop, but the Evil Eye deck revolves around paying the costs later on. So if you pop something, the next turn during the standby phase, you have to mandatory pop one of your own cards as well. So got to be careful with that. But this, if you pop your field spell, you'll actually get recursion, which is pretty cool. For another amazing consistency piece and support from Photon Hypernova is the Evil Eyes Unleashed, best card in the deck. Sends an Evil Eye monster and an Evil Eye spell trap from the deck to the grave as cost, and then adds you an equip spell from your deck, which is absolutely unbelievable. Just for the rest of the turn after, if you activate non-Evil Eye cards or effects, you lose 500 life points, which is, it's not really a restriction. This card's absolutely amazing. It also has a second effect that if you link summon an Evil Eye Link monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard and equip one Evil Eye spell or trap. Equip spell from your graveyard to an Evil Eye Link monster you control. This is how you're going to be getting your equips back from the graveyard onto your Link monsters for those amazing quick effect negates or pops. So Evil Eye's Unleashed, a 3 of, want to see it every hand. Serzial can search this, and then it's essentially a full combo. For the equip spells, slightly different from the last profile I showed, we have double Evil Eye of Gorgiano and 1 Evil Eye of Selene. Now the Gorgiano is the one you want in the graveyard. It also counts as Evil Eye of Selene if on the field, which is okay. And it can banish itself and discard 1 card as cost and allow you to add any Evil Eye spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is pretty cool as we play some pretty powerful one-offs that I'll show now. Also, while your life points are lower than your opponents, the equipped monsters gain attack equal to the difference, so you can make your monsters pretty huge. Evil Eye of Selene, the equipped spell that the entire deck revolves around. Why not play more, you ask? Well, because you never want to see it in your hand, you usually want to search it, and if it's in the graveyard, it can banish other cards to bring itself back. So it's a recursion and absolutely insane card. It switches on all your quick effects and gives your monsters battle protection, card effect protection, and also card destruction protection as well. Each time the equipped monster activates its effect, or you activate another Evil Eye spell or trap, the equipped monster gains 500 attack as well, and you lose 500, so it makes your monsters huge, and after a couple turns, your Serzial easy 5-6k attack, and you'll be able to attack over anything. Also, if this card is in your graveyard, pay 1,000 life points, banish an Evil Eye spell trap from your grave, and set this card back to the field. Amazing. For the one-offs, we have the Evil Eye Awakening. You can special summon an Evil Eye monster from your hand or grave, or if Evil Eye of Selene is in the spell trap zone, you can special summon an Evil Eye monster from your deck instead. This card has become crucial now in this Fiend Smith build because this allows you to get the extra body to use as link material, as I will showcase in a combo video, potentially coming soon. And you won't actually have to link off your Serzial if you have the Awakening, which you can add off your Gorgiano or Serzial itself. So essential because you want to keep your Serzial on the field for the disruptions, and if you don't have the Awakening, you're not going to be able to reborn a body to then link off again, because you need to link off your Fiend Smith and a body into the link 2. So you need to make sure that you have this card so that you're not forced to use your Serzial that's on the field. And for the last card, we have the Evil Eye Retribution, a counter trap which just negates any spell or trap, and if you control an Evil Eye monster or Evil Eye Selene, you can, well, this card cannot be negated, but you can only use this card if you control an Evil Eye monster, which 9 out of 10 times you will. For the Fiend Smith package, here we go, straight from the OCG, taking pre-orders. Let me know if you guys want. I'm just kidding, I apologize for how the card looks. I tried making it as best I could. We just play one of the Fiend Smith level 6, that's all you need to play in this build. I was experimenting with more cards, but honestly, you just need the one, and I'll show you in a combo video that's going to be coming out later this week or potentially next week, how exactly with this one Fiend Smith, we're going to be able to get a rank 6 monster on the field. So, one, if you don't know his effects, well, they're not really that relevant. If there's an equipped Fiend Smith card to him, you can send it to the graveyard and pop 1 card on the field, and if he's in the graveyard, you can return a light fiend into the deck or extra deck and special summon himself. So those are his effects. He has 1,800 attack, 2,400 defense. Main bit is that he is level 6. That is very, very important. For the hand traps, we play triple Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Just generically good. Just be careful with Heater. We play triple Effect Veiler. We play triple Nibiru, because now if we go into the Fiend Smith line, we are Nibiru-able. If we do the main Evil Eye combo, we are not. And we play triple Infinite Impermanence. So 12 hand traps gives a decent amount of, decent probabilities of seeing 2. I believe this deck is very, very consistent. It has, I believe, 10 starters, which I think is around a 80% chance of seeing a starter in your opening hand, and that's not counting Pot of Prosperity. So we're looking pretty good consistency-wise for this deck. Speaking of Pot of Prosperity, we play 3, triple Pot of Prosperity. You can usually go for 6. It's relatively free and get those consistency, it helps with consistency. Just remember you can't draw, but we don't really play anything anymore that requires draws. We have triple Crossout Designator. We really do need Serzial to resolve, and this is the best way of guaranteeing it, because we play Ash, we play Imperm, we play Veiler. We also play the 1 call by, so 4 ways of stopping hand traps. Hopefully that's enough. Or if they do interrupt the Serzial, that we either have the field spell or that we have the Evil Eyes Unleashed anyway. And to round it off for the 40th card, we play the 1 Terraforming for more consistency, which is the 10th way. We have 3 field spells, 3 Serzials, 3 Evil Eyes Unleashed, and 1 Terraforming, making 10 1-card starters. Let's now move on to the extra deck. Let's start off with the extra deck. We have the Evil Eye Link 3, which is Zerasil. It is I'd like to say it's a win more card, but sometimes you do generally want to make this and it does help you win the game. If this card is linked summon using a monster with 2,600 or higher attack, so if we use a Surziel, let's use its effect once, it will gain this effect because Surziel is 1/8. Then it will use its effect, gain 5, and then it will use its effect again. In the standby phase mandatory, you'll activate and you'll gain 5 as well, which is pretty cool. So if it's using a monster with 2,600 or higher attack as a material, it can make a second attack during each battle phase. That's not an activated effect. That's just part of the card. And if this card is equipped with Evil Eye of Selene, quick effect, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. Although during the next standby phase, you have to negate the effects of one effect monster that this card currently points to. You can do your opponent if your opponent isn't careful with zones, making the cost or the downside a upside. We have one Gorgon, Empress of the Evil Eye. Again, this is usually the one you make because you value the negate over the pop, but sometimes you want to make the pop, but mostly you make the one Gorgon. 2 monsters including an Evil Eye. This is just 2 Evil Eye monsters as well. So the extender that allows you to quick effect link summon and your Surziel or your equip spell. Gains 100 attack for each Evil Eye card with different names in your graveyard. It comes out at 19, so it can come out usually at 2/4 or 2/5 if you've done your full combo. If this card is equipped with Evil Eye of Selene, quick effect, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects. And then obviously during the standby phase, you have to destroy one monster that this card points to, and you can even do your opponents if they mismanage their zones. Just make sure you don't summon anything under its zone. If there's nothing, you'll just activate and nothing will happen, but it has to activate. It is a mandatory effect. For another Link 2, we have the SP Little Knights. Obviously, we're going to play this card. We already play Links, and SP Little Knight is just a free automatic add. Allows us to banish cards on summon if we use a monster from the extra deck, and then on a quick effect, allows us to banish 2 monsters on the field until the end phase. Moving on to the Fiend Smith cards, we played one of the Fiend Smith Link 2. Obviously, isn't out yet, comes out in the next core set in about a month's time. So until then, I'm having to proxy them. But Link 2, Light Fiend, what does it do? Well, it allows us to fusion summon using Light Fiend monsters from the graveyard. That's essentially the whole effect, and the reason we play it, because that allows us to make our fusion monster, which I shall show you right after I show the Link 1, which is the Link 1 Light Fiendsmith. It just needs a Light Fiend to be made, and you may, well, the more observant of you may have realized that, hey, we haven't got any Light Fiends in the main deck apart from the Fiendsmith main deck monster himself. We're going to get to that. But essentially, his effect is you contribute himself and special summon the Fiendsmith monster from deck or hand, which is amazing because if you draw him, you can at least do the combo still. So obviously, you don't want to draw him, but if you do, it's not the end of the world. We play one of the Fiendsmith Fusion, which is level 6, and its effect is it allows you to reborn a Light Fiendsmith, which is banished or in the grave, so you can bring back your other level 6, and this is how you get 2 level 6 bodies on board from just the one card. So what you do is you make this with your Melody of the Brass Digin. Apologies after proxy, I don't actually own this card for reasons that you guys can understand. I've never had to, have a Brass Digin, but he is a Light Fiend and takes 2 level 3s, so he's generic. You link him off into your Link 1. Link 1 uses effect, special summons the Fiendsmith from the deck. You now need a extra body, which is where the Evil Eye Awakening comes in clutch, or you're forced to use your Surziel. And then you link off your extra body with the Fiendsmith into your Link 2. Your Link 2 can then put back 2 Light Fiend monsters into your extra deck to summon your fusion, and then the fusion can reborn your Fiendsmith, and you can make your DD High Wave King Caesar as it's 2 Fiend monsters. So what does this card do? You've probably seen this card in Unchained. Well, Evil Eye can make it now, and it's when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated that includes an effect to special summon a monster. Quick effect, detach 1 material from this card, negate the activation, and destroy the card. Then you can make another DDD monster you control gain, but that's not going to matter. And that isn't once per turn, by the way. You can do that twice. So you get 2 special summon negates, which is absolutely brilliant. Puts the level 6s back in the graveyard, which are Light Fiends, and you can potentially do the combo again. We play the one Zeus because we have many Xyzes, as you will begin to see now, and Zeus is just a auto-include if you have an Xyz deck. We have the Ashura King, which is amazing for OTKs. It's also it takes 3 level 3 monsters, and it can attack a number of times equal to the amount of materials it has. Also, at the start of the damage step, if it battles, it gains 200 attack, and that's not once per turn. And when another monster effect is activated, you can detach one material from this card, negate the activation, and destroy the card. We play the number 75, Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. This is our way to play around Nibiru. If we want to just do the Evil Eye combo of just Surziel, get 2 bodies, and make the Gossip Shadow, that's 4 summons, they can't Nibiru us, and now we have a monster effect. I say negation, it just changes the effect into both players draw a card, and we play a decent amount of hand traps, meaning hopefully we'll draw into more hand traps and be able to stop more of our opponent's plays. For in time, we play the Battle Cruiser Dianthus. This is a way, you need this card, you need to find a way to win in time, especially that the Evil Eye cards burn you. So if you do go into time, you need 3 level 3 monsters, and you'll make this, and you'll take 500 effect damage when you activate this effect, because you will 9 times out of 10 had to have used the Evil Eye spell. That means that you have the restriction of when you activate a effect, you take 500. But if you're going first and your opponent, I believe, has 3 or more cards in the hand, you win, because this card, you detach a Xyz material, inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card in their hand. So even if they've hand trapped you twice, you make this, you take 500, but you inflict 6. If they have a full grip, they have 5 cards in their hand, they're taking 1,000 damage, and you can win the game. Now, for the last 3 cards, I only have 1 showing you, which is the Full Armored Dark Knight Lancer. But this is part of a package that you need to have the Digital Bug, rank 5. If you don't know what it is, you should search it up. And a rank 3 Cicada King, which I don't own any of those cards, which is frustrating, but I wanted to get the profile out to you anyway. And what the rank 3 does is a monster negate on the field, but the Digital Bug can detach 2 materials from it and summon it. And then it is a send to graveyard for a monster in defense, which could come up, and then you can just basically snap on the Full Armored Dark Knight Lancer on top. And the cool thing about this card is it activates its effect when a monster on the field is equipped, including your Evil Eye. I thought for the longest time it's when this monster itself is equipped, but it mentions when a monster on the field is equipped, you can attach 1 monster your opponent controls to this card as material. So that's non-targeting, by the way. So if you do your Link plays, summon the Link, equip the Link with the equip spell, and you have the Full Armored Dark Knight Lancer, that's going to trigger its effect to non-targeting attach a card or a monster your opponent controls to this as material, which is an extra layer of interruption, and I thought it was very, very cool. So that is it for the deck profile. There will be a combo guide coming very, very shortly, showcasing you guys the power of Fiend Smith Evil Eye, or the Fiend Eye, as I call it. And I hope you guys did enjoy this deck profile. Please do let me know in the comments what you think of this variant and how good are Fiend Smiths going to be in the TCG when they arrive in about a month's time. So I'm Rogue2 here, and I'll see you all in the next video.
It's time! Let's go!